You have information about the missing Kunari?
I am to help you, yes. Viscount Dumas would appreciate discretion in this matter. I would prefer that you were not involved at all. But that is neither here nor there.
Has anyone reported this to the Kunari?
Maker, no. I'd be signing the messenger's death warrant. He'll find out soon enough, of course. And when he does, the Viscount is rightly concerned that the illusion of peace will dissolve.
The Arishok is growing violent. He might want an excuse to end this peace.
I suspect that if the Arishok wanted to take over, he simply would. For all we fear that heretical Qun of his, its demands have done more to keep him in check than any of our efforts. Besides, would Kunari stoop to trickery? There is no precedent, but there is unfortunate evidence of influence on our side.
It sounds like you don't want them found.
I must think of what is best for the Viscount's office. Bringing attention to such an incident benefits no one.
You would do nothing?
The Kunari are neutral hostiles at best. There is no relationship to salvage by overextending ourselves on their behalf.
I'm having a hard time picturing the abduction of a Kunari entourage.
Unfortunately, they were not at their best. Their swords were tied into their sheaths, as I advised. It seemed a respectful compromise. Even I know you cannot separate a Kunari from his weapon.
So where would you start, if you were the starting type?
I would begin with the most obvious failure. It's clear the city guard has no excuse for allowing this, unless they were involved. Not coincidentally, a number of recent recruits have failed to report. You should start with one of them. Although where you find a swordsman so eager to sell his honor and duty, I'm sure I don't know.
The Hanged Man.
Hangman.
Even I know that.
I'm sure you have suspicions about what happened.
My concerns are well-founded. This could not have escaped the notice of the city guard. Unless they were involved.
Have any failed to report?
Several. You should start with one of them. Although where you find a swordsman so eager to sell his honor and duty, I'm sure I don't know.
A hanged man.
Hanged Man.
Got to be.
Right. Then you know what to look for. I can't imagine this has occurred without notice. There is always a weak link.
What do you want, Hawk? I have no interest in adding to my distractions.
And yet you sent a delegate to the Viscount.
A brief attempt to educate. If the dwarf had stolen the Sarkamek, it could have been used to show the price of greed. But you know the outcome of that. These fools are determined to be wrong. I won't waste the effort again.
I'll probably regret this, but you should know your delegate is missing.
Anyone else, and those words would have been their last. You are handling this, not your buffoon of a Viscount.
As best I can.
Then I will wait. But know this, the provocations we have suffered have worked. If this is not resolved, I can fulfill my duty to the Qun with far less annoyance by sifting through rubble.
Your mood is bad enough. I'll leave.
A wise choice.
Well, you're throwing coins around like there's no tomorrow.
That's right, woman. Tonight I'm paid and blessed, and all I had to do was turn my head.
Rich spending. It's a bit over your head, isn't it?
Expensive tastes for this place.
Hit it big, did you?
You're doing well for yourself.
A lot of coin for this place.
That's right, pal. Tonight I'm paid and blessed, and all I had to do was turn my head. To all my friends, hey, step back. I know important people. We're gonna show this city what to do with heathen oxmen.
Guard Captain, would you like to have a word with your man?
Guard captain?
Who?
What?
Who?
Who what? I don't...
Who bought you? Who bought the honor of a proud guard of Kirkwall and made him a drunken Mabari bitch?
I don't know. He was a Templar, I swear. He had the seal of the Grand Cleric and everything. It's true.
The penalty for abandoning your post is 10 days on the wall. I expect you to report in the morning. There's your answer. A Templar.
With the Grand Cleric's seal, no less. Well done. So, someone paid you to take a Qunari delegate?
I made a good wage for looking away while someone tamed a hornhead. So what? They said I should watch out for sympathizers. Traitors. You want something? Take it from me and my new friends. You're on your own, pal. That's loyalty for you. Come on.
Someone has deep pockets. I want an introduction.
Somebody always wants something. But I don't have to take that anymore. 3 hornheads are just a start. You want some of this? Take it from me and my new friends.
Let's see how you do when your target doesn't have their weapon bound.
I never touched them, but I can take the likes of you.
Feeling a little friendlier?
What? What do you want? I just did what he said. It was more coin than I've ever seen.
That's very good. Now just tell me who and where.
Templar. It was a Templar. I didn't get the name. We met near the Chantry. He said taking these Qunari was serving the Maker. I swear, he even had the seal of the Grand Cleric. True is true.
You have got to be kidding me. A Templar?
Serving the Grand Cleric, no less. Great. A fine joke, that. A Templar.
Her Grace would never be involved in something like this.
So, a drunk says the Grand Cleric funded a rogue Templar. And here we are.
I want answers about the missing Qunari.
Sure, why not?
The man was a drunk. Surely you don't think Grand Cleric Elthina is funding zealots?
Don't forget the kidnapped Qunari. That too.
Keep an open mind, Hawk. Elthina isn't behind this.
So, a drunk says the Grand Cleric funded zealots through a rogue Templar. This is enough evidence for you?
It's a careful chat about missing Qunari.
Hey, it's not like the Templars are going to like me no matter what I do.
So, we're about to accuse the Grand Cleric of funding zealots through a rogue Templar. And the day started so peacefully.
So, going to accuse the Grand Cleric of funding zealots. On the word of a drunk. Chapter the last, pissing off everyone.
So, on the word of a drunk, we intend to accuse the Grand Cleric of funding zealots. Freedom was interesting while it lasted.
So, you're taking the Captain of the Guard to accuse the Grand Cleric of funding zealots? Some days, Hawk.
The Grand Cleric, please. Tell her 3 Qunari leave an estate. And let her finish.
Sarah Hawk.
Sister Petrice.
Mother Petrice. Time has changed us both. Grand Cleric Elthina cannot grant an audience to just anyone. What do you want?
Funny how you and issues with the Qunari seem to go together.
And you always assume their side. I was naive when last we met. I did not want you dead, but I felt a death was necessary. That may be too fine a point for you to understand. But you must admit, you came out the better for it.
A Templar may have misjudged an order, and abused the Grand Cleric's authority.
I assure you, the Templars would never embarrass the Chantry, at risk of the Knight Commander's wrath.
Men were hired for the righteous task of kidnapping a Qunari delegate. I know you, and I know someone is abusing the Grand Cleric's seal.
Who are you to question who serves her grace? I am sorry, but I see no reason to let you pass.
How about the fact that her authority was used to abduct Qunari? A Qunari delegate has disappeared. She may have ordered it.
That is quite an accusation. Ridiculous, of course. She leads a great many people, but not as a commander.
A Templar used her seal to convince others the act was righteous. A pause that says you knew. But does her grace?
The Grand Cleric trusts her stewards to enact the wishes of the Maker.
I'll speak to her grace another time. You will not always be here.
Stubborn. All right, Sirrah Hawk. If you won't abandon this, let me offer you something. The Templar you seek is a radical who has grown unreliable. Confronting him may do us all a favor.
And he is what to you?
He is my former bodyguard, Ser Varnell. Assume what you wish, but I offer him to you as reconciliation. Meet me at this location. I invite you, Sirrah Hawk. Come see the unrest these Qunari have inspired.
Like any beast, remove the fangs and it is lost. They are weak before the faithful of the Maker. The only certainty in their precious Qun is death before the righteous.
Ser Varnell!
Take a knee, faithful. The Chantry blesses us.
You claim a blessing when you have used the authority of the Grand Cleric so openly? You have brought wrath down upon you. You remember, Sirrah Hawk? The Qunari have friends, Templar. How will you answer their allegations?
You want a fight? Face someone whose weapons are not bound.
Templars are cowards. They only pick on those whose lives they already hold in their hands.
Righteous! Destroy them!
You're wasting time, Ser Varnell. End this so we can move forward.
No games, Ferelden. You've been a puppet for years. I see no reason to start listening to you now.
Hatred has blinded you to potential allies.
Not blindness, focus. Something our leaders have forgotten.
You think I like being in the middle of this?
Then fall by the wayside. True sons of Kirkwall will do what needs to be done.
These things should be ousted from Kirkwall.
And they will be, along with the outside influence that weakened our leaders. And we start with you.
All right. Time to bring this mess to the Viscount's attention.
Madness! Madness!
Yes, Excellency.
Chantry involvement. Even if they are fringe elements. Oh, it could not be worse.
The Chantry has seen the abuses the Templars get away with. Why would they not think to do the same?
Sure it could. You could suddenly realize you're completely naked or something.
Her Grace had no knowledge of this affair. I trust she will deal with it swiftly.
You killed them? All of them?
This group, at least, is crippled.
Then that, at least, is something. Not that it matters now.
A mother serving the Grand Cleric allowed this to happen.
Are you quite sure? She held a blade with them? Told them to fight you?
No, I cannot say that.
Of course not. Blasted mother. You have no idea the storm these allegations would cause. It would destroy what support I do have.
I have had trouble with her before. She is slippery.
I understand. I will make my inquiries. Gently. And you should be careful in your associations. For now, we have other problems.
This may have scared her off. She claimed this was not her intention.
Well, that is something. We have the delegate, but I can't return the bodies to the Qunari in this state. Sir Arishok, you know the Arishok. What should I do?
Hiding this would only make it worse.
It would, wouldn't it? I'm losing my sense of how to balance this nightmare. I appreciate your help in this matter. As bad as this is, it could have been much worse without you. Kirkwall owes you. I owe you.
Perhaps we can disguise the abuse. Fire will hide the severity.
What choice do we have? Guards?
So, human, my delegate was taken from the Viscount's doorstep, and he still claims control of this city. I thought it impossible, but I respect him even less. How do you explain the condition of their bodies?
You can see for yourself. Make your own judgment.
Very well.
I expected worse. A fanatic used them to incite others of his kind.
I accept that.
Well, that was easy.
I have seen every vice and weakness of your kind, and how few of you take responsibility. Your Viscount remains a fool, but you are not. Panahedan, Hawk. I will keep one good thought about your kind. Tell me, why are the bodies of my Qunari burned beyond recognition?
The Zealots killed them, then burned the bodies to conceal them.
Tell me, human, do I look like a fool? The abuse is obvious. I knew the moment they were brought before me.
We only meant to cushion the truth.
You assume a weakness because it is yours, not mine. It is useful to know how far you and your Viscount will go to appease me, human. How much I am feared. I am pleased, but not by you. Leave.
They were abused, and the Viscount did not want you to know.
Despite your protest, of course. 4 years I have sat here watching your kind. I know falsehood and weakness. The abuse is obvious. I knew the moment they were brought before me.
I expected a more violent reaction.
You may yet receive it.
Can't blame us trying.
I think I can.
Hello, Mother Petrice.
Sir Arishok, it is good to see you. The shame that Varnell brought his order is most unfortunate. Praise the Maker that you were his champion in that dark place.
You knew exactly what was going to happen in there.
Hawk, you're standing between the righteous and the heretical. You're not going to make friends.
I'd settle for being able to trust the people I already know.
I gave you what you wanted at considerable cost. Varnell is more manageable as a martyr, but his loss will be felt.
Look, we're both adults here. Can we drop the pretense?
I think you'll find that I have said nothing threatening or untruthful.
You and your careful language.
You have avenged heretical Qunari with human blood. Surely that is good enough for you.
You're no more satisfied than I am.
Varnell was a fool, but the facts remain. An offense to the Maker goes unchallenged. I will give you no further cause to shame the Chantry today, but we will have this argument again. The Viscount's incompetence all but guarantees it.
No thanks to you, and you know it.
I gave you Varnell.
And a room full of zealots.
He recruited with the promise of Chantry blessing. You weren't going to argue them out of salvation. Varnell stepped too far. But the faithful know that eternity is at stake. Though there are, perhaps, better ways to go about it.
I can't let this go that easy.
Then we are destined to have this argument again. For now, I have made no criminal claims, and even your Viscount considers this matter closed. If he is good at anything, it is doing nothing. I hope you live a long life, Sirrah Hawke, because your judgment before the Maker will be harsh.
No games, Ferelden. You've been a puppet for years. I see no reason to start listening to you now.
Do I have your attention now?
But you have dealt with the Arishok.
What choice did I have? Things blow up, and I respond.
Petrice?
I don't...
Vachid and Basra. Conspirators! The Arishok will know of this. The Qun demands.
I do not trust you, Hawke.
This isn't about trust. This is about what is best for the city.
It has been difficult to convince others of the threat.
The Qunari will be dealt with, but not by mobs of fools.
Understood, Sirrah. Kirkwall is lucky to have you.
Now, to present this mess to the Viscount.
You surprise me, Sirrah Hawke. It is wonderful to see that others understand the true threat of the Qunari. They are such an insult to the Maker. We are justified any action when the stakes involve eternity at his side.
Oh, definitely. But lay off the murder, all right?
Understood.